Hi, I'm doing my Sunday morning thing. This is the sign I've got today to tie in with the Watchtower magazine. Put children first, report crime to the superior authorities, regardless of the law. Romans 13, Insight, Volume 2, page 234. So, they're all going past now. This isn't my first place I parked. I did park somewhere else earlier, and it's kind of raining a bit, so not very pleasant today. Okay, in the car. That's better. Yeah, so pretty yucky out there. At least it's not freezing cold. I did attempt to park in my normal place, which is opposite the intersection of the street that they come out of, where they are forced to stop their cars, so there's a better chance of them reading the sign. But there was a car parked there today. Maybe they're wising up. Although it could have belonged to the people in the house there. You know, they're not usually parked there, but they might have a visitor. So I sat there for a bit and ummed and ahed and thought, are they going to see it? Because I was a little bit forward of the intersection, and so the sign was at quite a bit of an angle, and with it, the sign being wet, you know, you get the extra reflections and things on the plastic. So anyway, I thought at least if I put it here and I've got the car angled, it's quite an effective spot where they're still driving towards it. And for anyone interested, they've got time to see it and whip out their phone and take a picture or something. I have seen a few heads turn, but probably going by too fast to actually read the whole thing. But some cars have slowed down, and when I actually moved my car to this spot, I had to turn down this little street and do a U-turn and come back to park here, and I noticed that a car had driven along and pulled over, like they were checking me out, like what I was up to. And then when I moved my car to the spot where it is right now, they actually moved off, so they were actually parked just over there, just in front. Yeah, so I'll be happy if even one person reads my sign today. Before the meeting, in fact it was quite early this morning, so I was up pretty early, so about 7:30 I went up to the Kingdom Hall, and it wasn't raining at that time, and I just put some little flyers that I had made up a year or so ago about the Australian Royal Commission, just very succinct. Basically it just said Australia Royal Commission 1006 paedophiles, or I might have not used that word, I might have just used sexual abusers or something. Basically none of them reported, despite half of them confessing. It was along those lines, because I think a lot of witnesses make the assumption that of course the elders will report them to the police, you know, to protect other children in the congregation for one thing, and children in the community. But no, in New Zealand there is no mandated reporting of child sexual abuse, so by not reporting, the witnesses are not breaking the law, not legally breaking the law. But however, witnesses may feel differently, that they have a higher standard than the world, and that morally and ethically they should be reporting these ones to the superior authorities, to use a scriptural term that they all know very well, for them to deal with. But they haven't been doing that, so these ones committing the sexual abuse have been escaping justice, basically, and further children are at risk, you know, from being abused when these ones are still left at large. So I thought that, I know I've heard in the past that when witnesses have been told about the child sexual abuse investigation and the Australia Royal Commission, that they've thought it was some kind of concoction by apostates. apostate driven lies, fabrications, frauds. They got someone to impersonate Jeffrey Jackson. They really refused to believe that it was true or there was any basis of truth. But now this magazine that they've studied today may give them second thoughts. They might start to think, oh, well, maybe it is true. There is some basis of truth in what we've been hearing from the apostates about this Australian Royal Commission. So I'm hoping that someone will investigate that. So these little leaflets, I actually folded them up and put them in a sealed plastic bag and just put them around the car park in different places that weren't overly obvious, unless you park right there, and a rock on them to stop them blowing away because it was a bit blowy. So hopefully the bags have kept the water out. But again, one person at least is going to find that, one of them, and open it and read it. I'm hoping that they'll all be read, but even if one is read, that will be good. So, I've seen another car go up there and sort of pull over. I don't know if they were just merging with traffic, but anyway, this month, July 2019, is kind of a big month. I have my birthday this month, and it's a year ago since I had my major bowel cancer surgery, and I'm pleased to say that everything's looking really good. I had my last checkup a couple of days ago and everything's looking hunky-dory, and they think it's very unlikely I'll have any more problems related to this particular cancer anyway. So that's good. And I have my daughter coming to visit me in a week with her boyfriend, and then not long after that my son's going to come and visit with his girlfriend, so that's really nice. And of course this month on the 26th is Watchtower Victims Memorial Day, and I haven't really heard many people talking about it this year amongst the ex-witnesses online, but I will be engaging in it again this year. And what I'm going to do, like if you can see out there, you can see the traffic going past on that road where that green car just went. That's a major highway here in New Zealand, State Highway 2, and the Kingdom Hall has a boundary on that road and a wire fence, and what I intend to do is put my memorial on that wire fence and attach it perhaps with cable ties or something, so that it doesn't blow off onto the road and cause an accident or something. But I'm planning to make it in the form of a crucifix, because on that stretch of road there are already a couple of crucifixes. In New Zealand you are allowed to put up like a little memorial if someone has lost their life in a car accident, and it will probably look just like one of those, except it'll be on the Kingdom Hall fence, and they won't really like that, will they? And when they go to remove it, they will see that it's got a little message on it. Yeah, so that's what I'm intending to do this year. Maybe it's a bit silly, but it's a personal thing that we're doing, isn't it? So that's Watchtower Victims Memorial Day, and then next month we actually have the convention in my locality. So I am planning to do something for that, along the lines of what I usually do, just with some signs, holding a sign, or and some signage on my car. And I intend to be using some props this time, and I will take some photos or video. It's nothing terribly exciting. I was thinking of wearing a onesie, but I decided against that because it just looks a bit too silly, and they'll know it's me anyway, probably. So yeah, so I'll likely make a video about that. lately I have been pleasantly surprised to find that some witnesses have been talking to me like like I'm a normal person, and quite friendly and chatty. Yeah, so it's interesting. It really made me feel like coming along here and parking with a sign that says "Thank you to the non-shunners" with a love heart, because it is really nice. It's refreshing for people to talk to you as if you're just normal and not a monster or something. So that was nice. It was kind of an interesting conversation I had with one brother and his wife. I met at the shops, and he was doing his witnessy best to try and get me to come back to Jehovah. In not a pushy way. He was being actually very sweet. And then he said something that I thought, what's he got in mind here? He mentioned Eve. And he said, well, Eve wanted to rule the world, didn't she? And I sort of thought at the time, is that what he thinks I want to do? Because I'd explained that. I asked them, why? Do you know why I left? And so I told them that I had some disagreement with some of the teachings, that they bothered my conscience so much, and I just couldn't accept them any longer. And that's what he said. So, and I did say, I reminded them that the Watchtower did say that the governing body do make mistakes. They're prone to error in doctrinal and organisational matters. And that being the case, why should we be expected to just be obedient to everything they say? And his response was, oh, well, they are appointed. They're appointed men. Oh, okay. So, I mean, who says so? They do. But so that's what makes it okay then to follow even instructions that are harmful to people. Anyway, that him saying about Eve wanted to rule the world, I was thinking, because we know that the governing body through the literature say that those who leave, who have disagreements with the governing body, are proud, and they want to get followers for themselves, and they're not submissive, and they're not prepared to wait on Jehovah and all this sort of thing. It's really drummed into witnesses, isn't it? That's what people who leave are like. And so whether he was thinking that I was like that, I don't know. But I just quickly said, gosh, I wouldn't want that job, ruling the world. I wouldn't want that at all. Oh, there's a car pulled up next to me. I hope they're not upset with me being in the way. I think there's plenty of room here, and in the street there's only like 3 houses. So, this is about only the 3rd time I've parked in this spot, I think. Anyway, yes, I bumped into some witnesses at their cart on Thursday or on Friday it was, and I do feel a bit nervous about approaching witnesses, just because I know how they view me, well, how I think they view me anyway, according to the literature. But obviously some don't, because they talk to me. This particular sister doesn't talk to me really, except when she really has to. And so I just said hello, and I liked her new hair colour. And I asked her about another sister who'd moved, whether she'd heard from her, and how she was settling in her new place. And she was just looking, expressionless the other way. And I said, you don't have to talk to me, you can just nod. So she actually nodded. And then I said, I just wanted to say too how pleased I am about the Watchtower study for this Sunday. It's about the child sexual abuse, how it's handled. And, I wish that article was out when my kids were little, so I could know what they did. And know that I really had to watch my kids, because it wasn't really particularly reassuring or adequate. Anyway, at that, she did actually nod when I said I'm pleased about that, so I think she's pleased about that too. But then when I went a little bit further, I said that, you know, it wasn't long ago that Stephen Lett said that stories about child sexual abuse in the organisation were the result of apostate-driven lies. At that point, she just said, "Oh, look, Rachel, Jehovah's going to fix it. Jehovah will fix it." And then she said, "That's all I'm going to say, Jehovah will fix it." And then she just got up and packed up her cart and she was off, gone, leaving me there, standing there with my mouth open still, you know. But a little bit of cognitive dissonance there, I think, and definitely burying the head in the sand. I mean, it's a very unpleasant, uncomfortable thing to think that the organisation that you think is so upright and so perfect and so righteous can actually have faults in its policies that can put children at risk. So, you know, it's not easy, but it's reality. It's, you know, just got to be real about it. Anyway, I think that's about all I'm going to say, and I'm going to sit here for, I'm not really sure what the time is, but probably sit here for another 20 minutes to make sure I get all the witnesses that go by, although it's raining a bit more now and it will just obscure my sign a bit more with the rain. But anyway, no skin off my nose to sit here for a little bit longer. Okay, signing off for now. Bye.